How's it going? Welcome back. Oop, I didn't mean to click that. It's going to be episode 3 for One Pioneer Story for Everlasting Summer. It's probably going to be another short one. We'll see what happens, though. Um, yeah, I've been having issues with my computer. I actually just had to reinstall the game. For some reason, my computer crashed while I was about to record, and it deleted it from my Steam account. So let's just get back into it since we don't have a lot of time. So, you can read to catch up if you want, but let's see here. You mean you're serious about it? Zenya's face was burning and her voice sounded not even surprised. Scared. Quite. No, you must be really out of your mind. What's the big deal? Even in the worst case, the new loop is a couple of days. No one will even remember it. I will. That's enough already. So your answer is no. My answer is stop bullying me. She tried to get up, but I firmly caught her by the hands. Wow, this music's kind of loud. I'm going to turn that down. Hey. Instead of trying to break free, Zenya laughed and pressed herself against me. Are you really not joking? What if we do get out of here after all? You haven't talked about that for a while. I haven't, but I am now. If in the real world you expect to just forget and pretend you haven't said anything now, then no. Both here and in the real world, my words are sincere. Even so. It's just hard to believe. So suddenly. What's sudden about it? How long have we known each other? I have long since lost count of the loops. I'm still counting, though. Zenya said quietly and hugged me even tighter. So, did I miss it? So Zenya's able to... She doing this too, then? Is that what she was always so mean? ... Lena. The girl obediently filled the syringe with the colorless, transparent liquid and handed it to me. No. When did you ever see a patient giving himself injections? But I don't know how to. There's nothing difficult about it. It's just that for me in this world there was still the one and only taboo, suicide. I was ready, and even wanted, to die at the hands of mad pioneers or a lethal injection, but ending my own life. For some reason it seemed that I shouldn't. I couldn't even explain why, and never tried to check. Maybe it was all because of that fear of uncertainty that had possessed me in the past 24 hours. Or maybe it's all much simpler, and the reason is simple self-preservation instinct. Regardless, I was sure that if I am killed by someone else, I will immediately wake up in a new loop, but ready for everything now. The only problem was that the fact that this girl clearly wasn't going to help me with my voluntary quietus. No, What if I do something wrong? It's better to call the nurse. I'll go. I'll be back soon. The nurse was the last thing I damn well needed here right now. Wait. I barely raised myself up on an elbow and grabbed her by the hand. Don't you worry. I've done it hundreds of times, and I'll teach you too. There's nothing difficult about it. The girl wavered. First take the tourniquet. Wait, what? Why would she need a tourniquet? It's used when taking blood. Okay, don't take the tourniquet. The pioneer girl laid the tourniquet on the table near me. I moved my left hand to the side to make it more convenient for her. Maybe we shouldn't after all. I won't even feel anything. Her hands were shaking, the needle jumping left and right. If she misses the vein, it won't be pretty. Euthanasia through the drugs from Soviet medical kit is a precarious pleasure as is. Don't look at me like that, the girl suddenly said. I'm looking at you how. Don't get distracted. I can't do it like this. Oh, here we go. I made a helpless sigh and jerked my hands away from her. Okay, forget it. I'll just sleep and be alright tomorrow. Don't forget to turn the lights off and close the door when you leave. The girl obediently headed towards the exit, but froze halfway. Are you really in a lot of pain? I really am. What does it matter now? I'll just endure it. I could do it. Only if you close your eyes. So if I close them, what will change? It will be easier for me, like you're sleeping. Her eyes smiled. Okay, I'll close them. Doesn't seem to be anything scary. The girl walked up to me and took the syringe. So, yes. I closed my eyes, and at the same second a thought flashed through my brain. Why am I even trusting her so blindly? Just half an hour ago, when standing on the porch, I was thinking very differently. Something pressed me into the couch with strength that made me unable to move my arms or legs. This bitch. Uh-oh. Pioneer girl with the tourniquet in her hands leaned over me. A second later, it tightened around my neck. What? Lennon is trying to murder me? What are you? I wheezed. Did I hit a double thing? No, I didn't. Even if this death I was urging her for, it shouldn't be like this, not being strangled with a tourniquet. No, wait, I'm not ready. The Pioneer was pulling even harder, a mad grimace on her face, mouth grinning a devilish smile, sunken eyes opened wide, and even seeming to glow with some unnatural light. I vainly tried to break free. The injuries and fatigue didn't let me. Here comes anoxemia, I don't know how to say that word. Everything's getting blurry in front of my eyes. I closed them, but the imprint of that crazy grimace is still left on the inner side of my eyelids. At the edge of my mind, I hear the creak of an opening door. The devilish Pioneer loosens her grip, and then the face of another girl is already leaning over me. Let's go, now. A familiar voice whispers to me. Someone help me get up. I leaned on them and stumbled away from the infirmary. ... Uh-oh, what now? It's like a weird cult all of a sudden. Crazy people. They drag me to the creepy old place? No? What's going on? Are they taking me to the creepy old place? Where are they taking me? He's breathing really heavily. I'm just gonna toss me out in the forest. Get out. Okay, I get the point. Let's do this. Throw me somewhere. What? Where are we going? Yay, this is where we camped out, isn't it? We were going slowly, often stumbling and bumping into everything. I was passing out and coming to all the time, but I just couldn't raise my head and was only looking at my feet. The paving stone in front of the infirmary gave way to the asphalt of the square, and it gave to earth covered by fallen leaves and fir needles. At last we stopped, and with difficulty I sank to the ground and looked around. Seems like the same clearing the Pioneer dragged me to. I'm walking in some hellish circles today. I tried to smirk, but coughed immediately. The back of my hand got covered in blood. Here, drink. The girl handed me a cold flask. I barely took several gulps and looked at my savior. She seemed to be the same familiar girl, but something was out of tune with her usual image. After all, a smile suited this Pioneer girl more than the expression of cold determination that was frozen on her face. I didn't even really know what to say. I've already been mistaken once about that maniac in the infirmary, and let myself relax for a second. Now I'm going to have to be wary till the end of this time. Though the unbearable pain in my whole body and my spinning head didn't let me concentrate even for a moment. What's this all? Shh. No need to talk. You'll get worse. I know it all, the girl said, and looked at me carefully as if, contrary to her own words, she was waiting for an answer. I know everything about you. I'm actually also real. How the damn hell are you real? We already met yesterday. Haven't noticed anything real about you. I coughed up blood again. Is this one of your jokes again? I continued, quieter. You can't just kill me. You can't, right? You have to torture, to mock me, want me to go mad. And then I realized that all of this has already happened once, though now our roles were swapped. No, it's not like that at all. You got it wrong. You weren't talking to me yesterday. Oh, why am I explaining? It's like you don't understand yourself. The Pioneer girl frowned. Didn't you ever meet your own copies? There definitely was logic in her words that I couldn't find a flaw in right away. Well, maybe. And why do you need all this? To help me, I mean. Because you are the same as me, real. Isn't it natural? Wouldn't you do the same in my place? If only she knew what I've done before. But what if she isn't lying? After all, I did meet people other than me in this world before. Thanks, if so. The girl didn't answer anything, only smiled. But I still don't understand I've met you 1,000 times before, and all of them were bots. It's hard to explain, and there's no time now. No time. Are you in a hurry for something? Not only me. Soon we will all escape here. You mean from this loop to a new one? No. I mean from this camp for good. What do you mean? I broke into a dumb smile. Very thought of there being an exit from this place had seemed absurd to me for a long time now. Don't tell me you want to stay here forever. Well, I've kind of been here forever already. I propose, you reject. Okay. No, wait. You just got me wrong. Though why wrong, actually? Am I really ready to go back to the real world? It's alien and hostile to me now, as this camp has become my home. But that home lies in ruins, robbed and burnt. Will I be able to build it anew? Yeah. So what do you want then? Okay, but how? You don't propose I just take your word for it, right? If you really understand my situation, you won't refuse to explain. Fine, but not now. We have to make sure there's no pursuit. Wait. But the pioneer wasn't listening to me, and a second later she disappeared into the vivid greenery. Just wonderful. Interesting. That's kind of cool. So the other characters kind of looped in here too. I'm sure each one of them has their own loop. But I can't sew? What a pity. A serious oversight on our housekeeper's side. Oh, look who's talking. What are you going to make the rings from? Are you maybe planning on... There's two R's there. Are you maybe planning on just reeling the wire of the induction coil around your finger? I've got a couple ideas. Well, I'm listening. Xenia looked at me carefully and smiled, anticipating my failure. However, even before I met her, I had acquired some very different skills, and crafting together a couple of rings wouldn't be very hard for me. The only question is the equipment. You can't find a jeweler's instruments in a camp, so I simply wouldn't have had time to prepare everything in a mere week. If not for the Cybernetics Club, if you rummage through the bulk of their equipment stored there, you could definitely find enough gilding for 2 simple rings. And keeping the local cybernetics occupied with something for a couple of days would certainly not be a problem, especially considering it's not the first time for me. That's a surprise. Even so, Xenia got embarrassed. In a week's time, they'll disappear. You know we won't be able to take anything with us. So what? What's more important to you? 2 pieces of metal or... No, of course not. But if we are going to do it the way it should be, then the dress too. Xenia's eyes sparkled. There were no problems with the suit. I knew for sure that several guys in the camp have pants and a jacket, maybe even of dark gray color. A summer dress would look good on Xenia, but the wedding dress was her idea in the end, which she predictably rejected right away. Used tool-y? Are you serious? Looks like she got tired of arguing already. No. But you can always ask one of the girls. I think that's the best option. Xenia grew red, pouted, and turned away. Then go and ask them yourself, and take measurements of yourself, 'cause you'll be the one wearing it. How do you even imagine I could do that? I'll just walk up to, say, Slavia and ask her, could you please sew a wedding dress for me? How about you say that it's for a costume contest? No, that's kinda silly. For a costume ball. Xenia was surprised, but didn't start arguing right away. I'll get the idea through the camp leader, don't worry. And there'll be nothing to be shy about. A wedding as a part of the performance. We'll make sure I can electronic perform man's first walk in outer space. Miku will cosplay Lenin on some armored car. And me and you will marry. And what historical event do you want to make this reenactment of? God, what does it matter? Could even be the marriage of Ekaterina, I don't know, the second, and Peter the third. Ooh, what an enviable fate is waiting for you then, darling. Xenia smirked. No matter, it's just an example. See, you're joking already. Still, that somehow, trust me. Okay. If you think it'll all work out. ... Now I'm back to being really confused. It started to dawn? Okay. The fever made its presence known and seemed to get even stronger. Apparently, the real pioneer girl got lost somewhere in the forest. Looks like I've been ditched again. Though I wasn't too hopeful this time. I just wanted to get everything back the way it was, not come back to reality. Maybe it's only been an hour on the other side, maybe centuries. It doesn't matter anymore. I felt like a comatose man who wakes up and can't recognize the world around him. The horizon was burning with a bright scarlet glow, showering the sky with a flaming aurora. What if it wasn't just the inhabitants that had changed in this world? In a mere few minutes, the beams of the blazing sun will get here and burn me up, together with this whole damn Sovyonak. Wish the real pioneer girl would come back. It's better to settle in a new world than burn alive in a familiar one. More so, because nobody there will know everything about everything that happened with me here, about everything I did myself. Hey, pioneer guy, you seem to be in a deep thought about something. A familiar voice sounded nearby. My voice. What do you want? I was surprised by his appearance and even scared a bit. I had enough problems with the maddened pioneers and had stopped even thinking about my doubles. Although, my doubles? How long has it been since I called them that? Right. For me, there was always me, and there were them. We even have nothing in common. We are different people, even if we were one at the same point. Maybe you're thinking, when did it all go wrong? Here, he was mistaken. I wasn't thinking about that. Tormenting yourself with doubts, asking yourself questions you'll never find answers to. I just want this to all be over, and your presence is hardly helping with that. Everything's long over, if you mean it that way. Oh, really? That's not particularly noticeable. For everyone but you. That day in the bus, you made the wrong decision and died. I looked over my body carefully. It hurts, which means I'm alive. I don't look much like a dead man. You'd think it's really all that simple, that movie-like. Do you want to remember the moment when the life left you? Remember your last breath, the point of transition, the first moments on the new level of existence. I don't really get you. That means I've already died then, in reality. No. You've been given a chance, but you didn't use it, and ended up in your own personal hell. Limbo, if you wish. No, look at you reinventing the wheel, as if I didn't know that. You knew that, but you didn't know that you're alone here now, and there's no exit. I knew that. Or at least, I'd assumed so. So what about you then? I'm not here. I'm just your hallucination. The forest resounded with his disgusting laughter. This is all painfully familiar, but why is it repeating itself now? Is it true when they say that troubles never come singly? What? Be my guest. I closed my eyes and even turned away just to be sure. Don't treat him like that. He's one of us too, or at least he once was. The familiar voice sounded a bit different. Oh God. Now 2 pioneers are standing in the clearing in front of me. You have to fight fire with fire. He's already been through enough fighting. I wouldn't say it's enough yet. They were arguing over and the reality lost all meaning to me. Look, he's lost his mind for good already. That's nothing special. It'll pass. Like in that story we told Liliana, signed with the name of a non-existent friend. The mad regain their sanity and the sane go mad. And then that devilish laughter again. You think this is his first time, isn't it? I know for sure that it isn't. He thinks he remembers everything. He's ready for everything. He knows the behavior of every pioneer beforehand, but he forgot so much. Maybe forgot the most important thing. Who the is that? Enough already, cat-eared. These 2 suddenly stepped aside, and the cat-eared one came forward. I was already kind of wary of her because I thought there was nothing good to expect from her. Moreover, somewhere deep inside of me, she caused some kind of animalistic, primal fear, like the fear of dark. And I never believed her stories either. Like that she's our subconsciousness, its hidden part. What nonsense. Don't you see how bad off he is? You're no use, like you. She pointed her finger at the evil pioneer. Hurry to the infirmary for pills. What pills? He was a bit startled. I don't know. Aren't you the smartest one here? Figure it out. The pioneer sighed helplessly and dragged himself in the direction of the camp. And you? She looked at the good one. And you? Well, find something to do, too, honestly. Your whining is sickening. It only makes things worse. But I only wanted to help. But you're not helping. So go. She waved her hand and made an expression that made a thought flash through my head, just like a grumpy cat. The pioneer didn't argue and followed his double. So what now? I asked without much enthusiasm. I've been tricked more than once, and I'm not going to believe her now. Especially her. I would never have thought that of all the local inhabitants, it would be the cat-eared one to come help me. Even if only in words. After all, she remembers the previous times, remembers our quarrel in the bus. You think you'll be able to make an idiot of me again? Gathering the last bits of strength, I raised myself, my eyes darkening from pain. But where will I go? I should have taken the syringe myself. Why did I even decide that a suicide here is the end? Hey. The cat-eared one jumped to my side with one leap and held me so I wouldn't fall. You. Do you really want me to believe you're helping me? And what do you think I'm doing now? After all, I always help you all. Yeah, sure. I sank onto the ground again and let out a heavy sigh. There's really nowhere for me to go in this condition. So, when will your pioneers return? Soon, she answered vaguely. Okay, let's sit. Let's wait. I've got nothing to lose anymore. ... I'm very confused. Wonder if this will all make sense by the end. The whole camp gathered at the square. Juliano was chasing Electronic in vain, attempting to take away his very crumpled cardboard cosmonaut helmet. The scene of the man's first walk into open space was not without some amusing incidents. Genda's monument served as an improvised rocket for the cybernetics, and Shirk managed to trip and fall from it at the most crucial moment. It's a good thing that the distance to the ground was significantly shorter than the near-Earth orbit, and it met him like in the song, with the grass near home. Stop running, you'll kill yourself for good. Olga was wailing. I'm not even sure what concerned her more in this situation, the cybernetics or the image of the camp that had no accidents 365 days a year since the beginning of time. Xenia was standing near and tugging on my sleeve, but I was too carried away with the spectacle and didn't notice right away. So, what? Are you sure we should be doing this? But you wanted this yourself. I didn't want anything. You just suggested and I agreed. We've discussed this 100 times already, and you know full well that it's not for real. Oh, so it's not for real, huh? She said dreadfully. That's not what I mean. We're just in this world, don't forget it. In a couple of days everything will repeat itself, and no one will remember this. Yes, but I will. So who are you embarrassed by the most? Those around you or yourself? Xenia blushed and said nothing. Okay, go change already. Olga commanded us. Ready? Xenia nodded. ... 10 minutes later, a strange sight for a regular pioneer camp could be seen at the square. Oh, what am I saying? It was strange even for Sovyanak. And I felt strange too, standing in the middle of the crowd of pioneers in an old Soviet costume of someone else's back. Not a formal tailcoat, of course, but still better than shorts and a short-sleeved shirt. Whereas Xenia was apparelled in the hastily cut semblance of a wedding dress. In another situation, I'd say she looks foolish, but not now. Now this dress seemed to me more beautiful than any attire from the pompous fashion shops. So what scene are you playing now? I forgot. The camp leader whispered into my ear. Olga, what does it matter already? Let's start. Okay. Xenia was standing, as red as a lobster, not knowing where to put her eyes. She seemed now to strongly want to look at me. Everything will be all right, I said quietly. Mika was merrily smiling in the crowd of pioneers, as if this was her own wedding. A bit foolishly maybe, but sincerely. Lena was blushing as usual, though sometimes casting careful glances at us. Alyssa's whole look was saying that she'd been dragged here against her will, and she would have been playing the guitar, or just sleeping, if only she could. She actually, if you look at her, she kind of looks like she wants Slavia's nuts, man. Look at her. Though Uliana was clearly thrilled with the whole spectacle. Children don't need much to be happy. As for Slavia, she seemed to be really happy for us, and smiled kindly. Let's get this over with already. Looks like any more, and Xenia will be embarrassed to death. Okay, we are ready. And that's where I'm going to end this one. We'll see what happens later, but I gotta go. So thanks for watching, and I'll try to get episode 4 out here shortly, and hopefully we can get this DLC finished up. It's been a long time since it came out. I'm slacking, so later.